My name is Emily. I am 28 years old. I live alone in a small apartment in a quiet part of the city. My life is simple. I work online as a translator, so I spend most of my time at home. Living alone never bothered me before. I enjoyed the quiet. I enjoyed the freedom. But everything changed one night. It was a cold Thursday evening. I had just finished my work and decided to order some food online. I was too tired to cook. About 30 minutes later, someone knocked on my door. I looked at my phone. The delivery app said the driver had arrived. I walked to the door and opened it. A man was standing there with a food bag. He looked normal, maybe in his mid-30s. He wore a delivery jacket and a cap that covered most of his hair. "Delivery for Emily?" he said. I smiled and took the bag. "Thank you," I said. He nodded, but did not leave immediately. Instead, he looked inside my apartment for a moment. Then he said something strange. "Nice place you have here." I felt a little uncomfortable, but I laughed politely. "Thanks." He finally turned around and walked down the hallway. I closed the door and locked it. At that moment, I did not think anything was wrong. But a few minutes later, I noticed something strange. My phone vibrated. I received a notification from the delivery app. It said, "Your order is being prepared." I frowned. That made no sense. I had already received the food. Confused, I opened the bag. Inside was a sandwich and a drink, but something was wrong. This was not the food I ordered. My heart started beating faster. If the order was still being prepared, then who was the man at my door? I walked slowly to the door and looked through the small peephole. The hallway was empty. I tried to calm myself. Maybe the app was wrong. Maybe the driver made a mistake. I sat down and started eating the sandwich. But I could not relax. Something about the man's eyes had felt strange, almost like he was studying me. About 20 minutes later, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I answered. "Hello?" A man spoke. "Hello, this is the food delivery driver. I am outside your apartment." My body froze. "Outside?" I asked. "Yes," he said. "I have your order." I slowly stood up. "If you're outside, then who brought my food earlier?" There was silence on the phone. Then the driver said quietly, "Ma'am, I just arrived." My hands began to shake. I slowly turned toward my kitchen table. The sandwich, the drink, the bag. Someone had been inside my apartment. Suddenly, I heard a soft sound from the hallway inside my home. A floorboard creaked. I stopped breathing. Very slowly, I looked toward the hallway that led to my bedroom. The hallway was dark, but then I saw something move, a shadow. Someone was standing there, watching me. My heart began to pound in my chest. The man slowly stepped forward into the light. It was the same man who had brought the food earlier. He smiled calmly. "Emily," he said softly, "you shouldn't open your door for strangers." My mind was racing. How did he get inside? Why was he here? What did he want? I grabbed my phone tightly. "I am calling the police," I said. He tilted his head slightly. "No," he said, "you won't." He took one slow step closer, then another. I backed away toward the front door. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely unlock it. The man suddenly moved faster. I screamed and pulled the door open. I ran into the hallway and started shouting for help. Doors opened around me. Neighbors stepped outside. Someone called the police. When the officers arrived minutes later, they searched my apartment. But the man was gone. There was no sign of him anywhere. The back window was open. He had escaped. The police asked me many questions. What did he look like? Did he say his name? Did you know him? I answered everything, but there was one question I could not explain. How did he know your name? I didn't know, and that question still scares me, because 2 weeks later, I received a message on my phone from an unknown number. It said only 3 words: I miss you.